They said my parents didn't want me anymore.
He told me my parents were dead, that we weren't black.
That they were going to make us white. It was for our own good. And then they said I didn't have a name.
I was a number. Identity is knowing who you are and where you come from.
Without your identity, who are you?
Back then we were innocent. We were just little boys.
My name's Uncle Richard Campbell, and I'm part of PICI, and I'm welcome to KBH. When I first came in here, I wasn't allowed to use my name. All I was a number. My number was 28. I think there's probably about 30 of us actually here. You'll see them all around the KBH. They're actually all here to help young kids learn about the stolen generation. And it's coming from the individuals or the boys that actually went through all that.
We're lucky here today to have the uncles and aunties that are here today to show their strength and resilience to be able to pass on this knowledge and information to you fellas. It's not about jarring anyone or making anyone feel guilty. It's about education and understanding, because you fellas are the next fellas are going to be looking after the land, you know what I'm saying?
One of you might be Prime Minister, you never know.
I was taken 1957. My brother, he was 9, my sister was 6, and I was 3 years old. On that tree today, there used to be a long chain, and if you done anything wrong, they'd bring you down there and they'd chain you to the tree.
In that movie, one of the boys said they tried every day to escape or try to get away. Did anyone escape from here? Yeah.
Most of the boys that ran away were brought back and severely beaten. My eldest brother ran away, and he says even to this day, he says, my biggest regret was that I didn't take my brother with me. What do they call it? Stolen generation. That's not stolen generation. If the truth be known, it should be called the kidnapped generation. The kids of that time were not stolen. If you steal someone's property, or steal your wallet or your money, anything like that, you stole that thing, right? But if you take a child away from the parents, what is it? Kidnap. See? What gives the right to someone to come and take their kids away? But they literally don't. When you go home, tell your mum and dad you love her. Can you do that?
See this old fella here, he had 3 sons that was in Kingston here, the Clayton boys. He went to war, to fight for a country that didn't recognise him as an Aboriginal person, right? And when he went over there, the government went and took all the kids, must have been about probably 10 kids, and put them in different institutions. When he came home, like all the other soldiers, actually, they were granted housing, land, and things like that. But he wasn't even granted any, because he wasn't even recognised as a human being. He came back. He was a plant and an animal, fauna and flora. So now that's where that referendum came in. See, it needs to be in the schools, so you can learn the truth. truth about what happened, you know. You want to know the truth, the real history, don't you?
We're drawing what we interpret out of today. Yeah. I'm doing a tree and I'm doing the chains coming off of it and writing like the emotions that they all felt.
This is the symbol of us young Aboriginal men growing up, like we're the new future, we're the new seed, we're the new tree of like our culture type of thing.
My artwork shows a small child who's 10 years of age, who's tied up against the tree out the back there for playing up. I drew it because it was the thing that stood out most to me. I thought that it was probably the roughest thing really for minor offences that they did.
I learnt not to pity them, not to pity the victims because they survived, and to respect them and just to pay my respects. They want to understand and they want to educate us and to tell us their stories and what have you heard.
I drew the gates and sort of made sure everyone was sort of trapped behind it to show that they couldn't leave.
I wrote about and drew about how they grew their own vegetables and all that and how they did all the work. A little bit about how they got their identity stripped from them.
During the tree that they were chained up to for several days and the cause from when they came to take them home from their family.
Wow, that's really strong. Okay, that is powerful. That is powerful. Look how they've got the gate. That is really good. That's really strong. That is good. So you've got all the links, the chains are all about everywhere?
Yeah, it's basically just saying that everyone was chained back from who they actually were and their numbers is just like who they are now.
That's perfect. That is fantastic. That is great. I was only 10. I want to go home. Oh, bless you.
What's happened here has really opened my eyes and really makes me sympathise, and lucky that I've got the life that I'm living at the moment.
And I'm here to support them, just listen to their stories and appreciate like what we live in now.
I guarantee that there's so much people out there that need to know this knowledge that they have no idea about, and they need to know so they know how to handle the future with other people and get through life.
Well, it's really important, like, that they share their stories instead of bottling it up inside. I still remember when we were little and my dad used to walk me to school and he'd always be there an hour before we left, before school came out, because he thought he was taken, and he thought, oh, well, if he was taken, a white man could come and take his own kids.
Why is it important for me to know it? So as I know what my elders have been through, you know. We take a lot of things for granted, us younger fellas these days, you know, and back then they couldn't do that. They didn't have the freedom, the luxury as what we got here today, you know. So back then they was all just living their life, you know, and then they end up getting taken away from their families. I know for a fact, I wouldn't never have liked to be taken away from my family. I probably wouldn't have survived as long as these fellas have, you know. That's me being honest, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, they're very strong people, and I can learn a lot from them when I sit down and talk to them.
We're taken away from our family. Learn to be slaves and soldiers to march everywhere, for we are Chinchilla boys, and you destroy the most innocent people in the world. Us little kids.